also seeing some of these letters that I was trying to mark in some way so I could sort of keep track of things. When I started this project, I didn't have really any kind of database program on my computer. And the project was just getting big enough that I didn't think I could sit there and keep track of everybody, you know, in my head or something like that with 100 people. So I started, you know, scribbling little notes on these things. Like I started creating a filing system. So, you know, this person, you know, got a number 50 on their envelope because they were person number 50 in the filing. And I actually wrote my own database program in BASIC to keep track of all of these. Here's one of the cover sheet that I had printed, and I didn't do this on all of them, so I don't know why some got it and some didn't, because a lot of these people, you know, didn't write back there once in a while or something. So I had sort of come up with a system, and I could actually figure it out. You know, I was filing them together, and then I could say, okay, what state are they in? Because even from the beginning, I thought, man, how cool would it be to be able to go back and find these people again. Pretty trippy. Oh, look, got some comics in here. I think this is the one I was thinking of before. Mary Cooley. She, at the time of writing, is a 76-year-old granny. She can't cut the rug like she used to, but she has no intentions of sitting in a rocking chair either. Had an operation in July on my hip. Had it replaced. Doing much better than I had originally thought I would be at this point. I live with my daughter, son-in-law, and grandson. We live in Chicago for almost 50 years now. Okay, and the little dog, okay. Kind of fun. The lady that wrote this, you know, 76-year-old grandma, took the time to type it, and it's got letterhead and everything. You know, so I don't know if she worked in an office at one time or what, but because nobody had not very many people were typing on computers yet by then. During World War II, she worked for the Navy. That's cool. I got several letters from her. She did do this one on a computer. Check that out. She was like a trendsetter. Dear Carlin, January 1, 1991, again, Mary Cooley. We received your letter today, and everybody, that being our entire family, was ecstatic when I read it to them. I was truly so happy to receive such a lovely letter from you, even if it was a copy. As you said, it's the thought that counts. Being a former Navy person myself, I chuckle at various slanguage you use. Now it brings back lots of memories for me. You see, I used to work at the Navy Yard just outside Joliet, Illinois, about 45 miles south and west of Chicago during World War II. My group worked for the Seabees Construction Battalion of the Navy. And she did a little asterisk, and then at the end of the paragraph she said, Seabees equals confused bastards. I drove a Jeep and had 3 German prisoners on each side of my trailer. Funny. I would have sometimes 12 to 15 trailers filled with material going to the troops overseas. When we'd get the word that there was going to be a Red Ball Express, that meant a train going full blast to the coast, well, we just knew that another invasion was imminent, and we would literally work a couple of days loading the train. We would work 10 to 12 hours and sleep a few hours and get right back to loading until that particular Red Ball Express was loaded to the brim. At that time, I was married to a commander in the Navy. He later died of pneumonia at the Navy hospital in Bethesda. Oh, I can never say that word. Bethesda. So I'm well aware of the scuttlebutt, kiddo. Thanks for bringing such a fresh onslaught of memories for me. When Mary Ann, my daughter, had her baby, we moved to a much larger apartment in Rogers Park in Chicago, right off Broadway. Right, okay, skip. She taught piano and organ. And okay. She's a real sports fan. Anything and everything about sports except boxing. I can't seem to get enough watching them. Of course, ever since 1929 and the Cubs have been my pride and joy. Although we have White Sox in town, I just never took to them the way I feel about the Cubbies. Can't explain it. Guess it's like with people. Either you like them or you don't. If the truth be known, you might say I'm a total sports nut. Personal stuff about us. Skip that. Would you believe there's no sidewalks out here, no cabs? Well, there is if you call one. Okay. Yeah, she was from actually Chicago, so now she's living out of town, and she's talking about that. Page 2. I see. Her daughter was typing this, because there's a dialogue going back here. That's pretty funny. Okay. You sound like a pretty neat person, like my kind of guy, and a good sense of humor. I sure hate the thought of our troops being over there. Believe me, if I could come over there, I guarantee there would be a lot of ass kicking. When I had the time during the Navy, when I have the time during the day, I sit and knit and watch CNN. I learn what is being done and what is not being done, and who's doing what and who is not doing what should be done. I'll be ready and waiting to tie a rope around the Butcher of Baghdad. That's what a lot of the commentators on the radio call him. You know, it's nice to have pen pals, particularly when our nation is threatened as it is now. I've taken up writing to quite a few people of... I wish I could read today. I've taken up writing to quite a few of our people stationed over with Desert Shield, and our entire family gets just as excited as I do when another letter arrives from Saudi Arabia. Well, my dear boy, I've got to have Mary Ann type this letter for me. My right arm isn't what it used to be. Even though I've taken up gardening to help pass the time, my arm gets pretty painful when I try to use it to any extent. We imagine that all of our troops are just thrilled to have President Quayle over in Saudi Arabia with you. According to the media, he was real smashed with the troops once he found his way out of the plane. I do believe this 76-year-old granny has rambled on long enough. Don't want you to get bored or fall asleep reading this, but I do want to know that we very much appreciate your response to the first letter. And also, just let us know if you would like to write again. I shall answer your letters. Please let everybody know that our family is praying for all of you and behind you 1,000% in all that you do. God bless you all. Here's a little Irish blessing for you. May you have a song in your heart, a smile on your lips, and nothing but joy at your fingertips. And may your blessings be many, the sunshine above you, your life bring you gladness, and always God love you. Man, cool.